Alright everybody, I'm back today. I'm at home right now, as you can see I'm in the shop. And I'm working on a project Dad wanted me to do. He needed a better feeder gate because the one he built is made out of wood. It's heavy. It's too heavy and it's too big for him to handle by himself. So he drew up plans, which I have right here, for a feeder gate that he saw online that he wants me to make. So that's what I'm putting together. I'm using, what have I got? 2" by 1/8 inch square tubing for the outside frame, if you can see my foot here pointing at it. And the uprights on the outside frame are 5 foot tall, and then it's 6 feet across. So we're gonna have 3 entrances. I'm point the camera at it. 3 entrance points on this gate, so 3 calves can go in at a time. And the uprights are going to be made out of 1.5 by 1/8 inch square tubing. That would be the center uprights. So those will go. You got the lines. There'll be one here. You have one here, here, and here. And those will be about 4 foot tall by the time I get them in place. So, yeah, everything's being welded together. And I will have more of this project when it's done. And we're going to hopefully get this painted while I'm here. I should be able to finish it today. I got to start on it yesterday. I did the mainframe yesterday, cut all the main pieces. Right here, where my foot is. And this secondary top brace right here. And then, with the leftover squared tube, what Dad wants to do is make an adjustable gate, or adjustable bar, all the way across this frame. So that way, we can allow certain size calves in. Otherwise, as the calves get bigger, because you're never going to have calves all at the same time, at least not for us. Somehow our cows got out of that cycle, the same cycle. So it's whatever. So we'll have that issue of bigger calves wanting to get into the creep feed when they're already at weight where they don't need to be on creep feed anymore. And 500 pounds is usually the limit of where you don't want them on creep feed anymore. Because now they're at feeder weight, so now they need to be thrown on regular grain. So anyway, that's why my dad wants to do an adjustable bar, so that way we can allow certain size calves through the gate. But we got to get the main part of the gate, this, all done first before we can do any adjustment, or before we can do the blocking bar is what I'm going to call it. Because that's really what it is a blocking bar. It blocks out bigger calves. And we've got all the cross members in. All the uprights. So these will be where... So if you look right where my finger's pointing, these will be where the calves will enter through to go get feed. And this will be their exit point too. So this allows... With this being about a little under 4 foot, about 47.5 inches tall, it'll allow a calf up until about 500 pounds to get in here, which is about where we want. We don't want to feed them past 500 pounds because they're too big to be on creep feed, and creep feed's too much of a rich feed. So we'd rather have them under 500 pounds on creep feed, so 400 down. 500 is the cutoff point. So anyway, got her all welded up pretty much. There's just a few pieces. We got some 45 angles to cut. Some angle braces, some triangles to cut in for these corners right here. We're going to put some triangles in since the triangle is the strongest shape around. We're going to add triangles just for strength at each corner. Because this isn't light. I guarantee this is not light. And it's probably hot, so I'm This probably isn't. This shouldn't be hot. Oh yeah, that's not light. Whew! No. No, that's not light. That's heavy. Woo! So, anyway. It's still going to require him to use a tractor to hang it, but now it's smaller, a more compact size, so it's easier for him to maneuver around in the barn than the one that he built. We're looking at this gate, this feeder gate's just about done. So we got our corner bracing in, our triangles put in on each of the 4 corners, right there. So she's pretty stable. She was honestly really stable before, but now she's really stable. That's hot. I put in at least 2 of the end caps that we're gonna have. The reason we're doing these end caps is since this is squared off and not rounded and not fabricated ends, since these are non-fabricated ends, I think that's the right word for it. I could be wrong. Anyway, since these are open ends, we'll use that. As you can see, these ends are open down here. We don't want dirt flying up into the ends or manure or any. Try to avoid moisture. It's going to be hard to avoid. But we don't want anything getting inside the ends. And manure is really corrosive. So by capping the ends off, it keeps majority of the manure out. Next thing I'm going to be doing tomorrow is adding some bracing. You can see right where my foot's at. Right here. To each of these uprights. On these uprights on the front side. And then on here. On the part of the mainframe here. On the front and the back side of it. Excuse me. So this will have plenty of support. We're not using heavy flat steel. I forget what it is. 2" by 1/8 inch. So it's 1/8 inch thick. So it's not thick. It's just 2 inches wide. Anyway, as you can see, it's very flexible. So it's not real heavy duty flat steel. But it's got flex. So if a weld does snap, which I doubt it will, it's going to have, this will add securement to it. Hopefully this will snap before the welds will. But the reason I'm putting the flat steel on these uprights is because this is the bottom. As you can see, this is the bottom. And this is going to be in the manure all the time. And like I said, manure is corrosive. So that'll just add an extra layer of protection here against manure, against calves kicking manure up against it as they run through it. So anyway, that's that. She's looking good. I'll try and combine all of these videos into one. I've got some editing software, so this gives me something to play with. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.